Y'all, the Jey Uso and CM Punk main event is currently happening as I'm starting the recording of this review for Saturday night's lame event, okay? This show is complete garbage. It is the worst show of the year. It is one of the worst shows of all time. Like, it is that bad. Nothing redeeming about this show is anything. There's nothing positive to say about this show. The fact that the main event is happening as I'm speaking and I have the audacity to make this review shows you that nothing is happening on this show. It is boring. It is lifeless. Therefore, the crowd is lifeless because the product sucks. Triple fraud needs to be fired immediately. Every single show, he's either not backstage or he has zero creative footprint on what's happening. And even when he does, it sucks anyways. He does not care about the quality of these shows. He doesn't care about us as fans. That's why I have not watched a full Raw or SmackDown or even PLEs now at this point, I guess you can add in. I haven't watched them in their entirety in a long time. I don't do it anymore. I have to either split it up in parts or watch highlights because it's that unwatchable. You had a SmackDown last night where Ilya Jabarov was fighting Nathan Frazier for 30 minutes. Do you understand how embarrassing that is? Out of everyone you have on the roster, and that is what you filled 30 minutes up of SmackDown with. It is an absolute disaster, man. Codarius Rodington is the worst WWE champion ever. How do you come out in a trench coat every week, cut no good promos, tell no good stories, and get rewarded with 2 world championship reigns? And you know Cody's not dropping that title because the Mania 42 ad and the teaser for it show you Punk, Brock, Roman, and Cody, which basically lets you know that every single one of those 4 is going to be involved in a marquee or main event level match at Mania 42. So Cody's probably not even going to lose that belt. And Drew McIntyre, I can't stop thinking about Punk, and I can't stop thinking about Randy, and I can't stop thinking about Cody, and I can't stop jobbing out, and my career is going to end because Triple Fraud can't book. That is what we have. This is sad, man. Every single heel turn that happens in WWE is ruined for good. For good. It's just done. How many times we have to see this? The New Day, they turn heel in an amazing segment. It turns to crap. John Cena turns heel. Triple H has 5 months to book him, and it turns to crap, and fans blame The Rock. Are you serious? Drew McIntyre turns heel, has a good feud with CM Punk, disappears, comes back, and has jobbed out ever since late last year. It is an embarrassment, and it needs to be called out accordingly, man. It's disrespectful for these jobbers to give us the same product over and over and over again and expect us to just take it and enjoy it. This is trash. Everyone is supposed to, we grew up, a lot of us grew up watching wrestling and thinking it was great, having amazing moments, great stories, larger than life characters and storylines and epic moments, making you feel for these characters, making you feel for these moments and making you invested in all these different stories with actual creativity. And now you look at it, we have no stars because Triple H cannot build stars. He doesn't care. He spends more time at the White House than he does in Gorilla making the show. It's unacceptable, man. And Cody Rhodes is the worst champion ever. I said it before. I don't even care about this match. Yes, he retained versus Drew McIntyre because he DDT'd Drew on a WWE championship while the ref wasn't looking. What a creative finish. So creative. Stop. This isn't creative. This sucks. Every single match. I'm so tired of the base bare minimum being, oh, well, they put on a decent wrestling match, man. Wrestling. You can find a good in-ring performer in 80% of the locker rooms in WWE, TNA, AEW, New Japan, anywhere. Having decent to good wrestling in-ring matches is not the problem. We need stories. We need intrigue. We need emotional investment in what's happening, and we have none of that. We need stars. We need something, and we have nothing. Wrestling has never felt so dead and so lifeless, man. These crowds are barely showing up anymore. You have no new stars in the pipeline. Nothing is entertaining. Nothing is engaging. Even I wanted Tiffany Stratton's title to reign to end. I wanted it to be over because it was that bad. And now that it's over, I don't even care. I don't even care that Jade Cargill won. Yes, I'm excited because I want to see, I'm excited for the fact of, hey, we have a champion now that's not Tiffany Stratton. That's great. But as for the actual excitement for Jade Cargill's run specifically, I'm not there yet. I have to see more. I'm just happy that Tiffany has lost the belt. And it's as simple as that. John Cena announces via a video segment that he is basically going to have there's going to be a 16-man tournament starting in Raw in Boston in a couple weeks where they're going to decide who Cena's final opponent is. Why don't the fans just pick his final opponent? Why doesn't he just pick his final opponent? He has no problem getting on Twitter and picking AJ Styles to fight him at Crown Jewel, but for some reason, we have to sit back and watch 16 jobbers go at it to ultimately get a jobber to fight John Cena in his final match. It's just like I don't understand any of this, man. This show has no pulse. The booking is garbage. It's garbage. And I've been saying this now for well over a year, bro. This company is going to die at the hands of Triple H because he doesn't know what he's doing. He is a fraud. He doesn't show up. He doesn't do anything of meaning. He doesn't give a crap about this product or the fans anymore. And if you hear anything otherwise than that, it's an absolute and utter lie. This is unacceptable, man. It's unacceptable. The opening match with Cody and Drew was a disaster. Drew McIntyre is better than Cody Rhodes at literally every aspect of being a professional wrestler, yet he consistently loses to him every time. It's unbearable, man. We don't even need to go through this. What happened in this match? Cody went through a table, came back in at the count of 9. He then, as the ref took a ref bump, he DDTs Drew on the WWE Championship, and then crossroads Drew and pins him. Like, what are we doing? We just watched Drew go into a Hell in a Cell, take GTSs, get hit off the steel cage walls, his whole head and face busted open, and he was still wrestling for 30 plus minutes with CM Punk. But one crossroads and a DDT on a title pins him. You see how stupid this is? None of this makes any sense, man. Drew McIntyre is booked like a jobber, and Triple H could not care less about making any of these dudes into actual stars. You could have had Drew as a top megastar in your company, or at least a top superstar who could carry the shows without someone like a Roman or a Cena being on it. But you don't even have that. You have Cody Rhodes getting the belt and consistently holding it. And after Cody won the championship match, if you guys heard it, there was audible boos in the audience. People were booing the top champion, the alleged face of the company, and he's getting booed after retaining a championship that he's only defended 2 times since August. Do you see how bad this is? It's getting that bad. The product is that trash that the head champion, the face of your company, allegedly, he retains his championship and only his second defense since getting it back, and the fans are already booing. You know what I mean? They were cheering him, don't get me wrong. There was probably a 60% of them were cheering, but a good 30 to 40% of them were booing, it sounded like. It is what it is. You could hear the boos. And I'm like, the fans are now disapproving and showing you how stupid this is. Cody Rhodes is boring, and he is a undercard jobber pretending to be a main eventer. I'm tired of the trench coats. I'm tired of the respect, the love, the care, and the lack of effort. He does nothing to elevate this company. How do you have last year? You started off on USA Network when Roman and everyone was showing up for the Bloodline reunion last year. You had 1.8, 1.9 million viewers average on USA Network for SmackDown, and now you're struggling to get 1 million. And Cody's been champion for 80 to 90% of that time. It's unacceptable, man. Stop. Triple H sucks at his job. The creative team sucks, and Cody Rhodes sucks. He is always going to be a jobber. And that is why now he has the belt twice, and it's been boring each time. And he's had maybe 15 to 20, marquee PLE level matches in the last 2 years, it feels like. He's done nothing. He's done nothing, man. But yet he gets the belt. And Drew's jobbing out on the side of the road. It's just unacceptable, man. I have no words left to talk about this match, bro. Cody Rhodes should have lost this belt, and he should have been written off after Orton punt kicked him in the head. This should have happened months ago. But now we're waiting for it to happen. Let me guess, huh? We're going to get a Drew and Cody rematch, man. Yeah. No, stop. I don't want to see rematches anymore. Stop with the rematches. Give me something new and exciting. We move on. Jade Cargill beats, Tiffany Stratton because Tiffany's knee is hurt. We can never have a clean heel win. That's why we don't build, and no one in WWE actually has any legitimate heat, man. The only heat they get is like, hey, get off my screen because you're that bad at your job. It's ridiculous. Jade Cargill destroys Tiffany in a squash match, which is exactly what this should have been. I'll give them credit for that. But the actual quality of this should have been happened. Jade should have been won, man. She should have been turned heel. Right after SummerSlam, she should have turned heel, and they should have had a rematch for the WWE Championship at whatever the pay-per-view was later in August or early September. That's what should have happened. WrestlePalooza, whatever it was. That's what should have happened. But we didn't get it. We got garbage. And I'm supposed to sit back here and say that this is good. This is trash. It's trash. Anyways, Jade Cargill's the WWE Women's Champion. We'll see where they go from here. I'm assuming they're going to build to her and Bianca probably at Mania 42 for the WWE Women's Championship. That should be a pretty fun feud with a returning Bianca Belair in a couple months, hopefully. So we'll see what happens. I'm just happy Tiffany's reign is over. Her reign was complete and utter garbage and forgettable because all she did was have rematches because Triple H is an uncreative fraud. We move on. We had a triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship. I've said this before. Dominic Mysterio is having one of the worst Intercontinental Championship reigns of all time. He's told no good stories. He's had no good promos. And he's had no good feuds. And every single match ends the same. He's going to find a way to cheat. Nobody cares anymore. It's not fun. It's not engaging. It was maybe once or twice, but nobody cares anymore. He's had the belt since Mania 41. What has he done since then with this belt? Thank you. We can move on. We can basically just move on off that. He's fought Rusev 3 or 4 times. He's fought Penta 4 or 5 times. And now you have a triple threat combining them all for the 5th or 6th time. None of this matters. It's boring. It's effort. There's no effort and put into this at all. And there's no creativity. We can move on, man. This is trash. Listen, okay? What happened after this Dominic Mysterio triple threat is arguably the worst part of the night. And the worst part of the night was John Cena confirming that there's going to be a 16-man tournament in order to see who fights him in his final match. Now, let me ask you guys in the comments, because I'm actually curious about this. Do you guys think that the fans should pick who Cena's final opponent is? Or do you think that Cena should pick who his final opponent is? Or do you, like he did with AJ Styles, like leading up to Crown Jewel, where he just said, hey, I want to fight AJ Styles at Crown Jewel. Obviously, it's going to get made. You know what I'm saying? The fans co-signed it. The fans on Twitter were like, yeah, do it. And then we got it at Crown Jewel. Or do you think that they should do the way that they're doing and have a 16-jobber tournament to decide that Gunther probably is going to fight John Cena? Gunther is one of the most boring and overrated wrestlers of all time. And the proof is because, number one, he hasn't told any great stories. He hasn't had any great feuds. And quite frankly, in my opinion, he hasn't had a genuinely great or amazing match since SummerSlam of 2024 versus Damian Priest for the world title. And he barely fought when he did become champion. So the whole ring general Matt is sacred, that gimmick isn't even a thing anymore. He's soft. He got tapped out in 5 seconds by Jey Uso. His arc is done. You get what I mean? And he clearly doesn't have the charisma or anything like that, or the abilities or the skills or talents to be an actual megastar or superstar of a generation of wrestling like a Cena or a Roman Reigns. Or any of they don't even think about comparing it to Stone Cold or The Rock. You get me? So stop the nonsense. It's not going to happen. Giving Gunther the rub of beating Cena the final match is it's ludicrous. How do you get tapped out by Jey Uso in 5 seconds and then you're beating John Cena in his last match? All within the same year, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, none of this makes any sense. It's stupid, okay? You get tapped out by Jey Uso, and then 5 matches later, you're beating John Cena in his final match. No one wants to see that. We want something interesting and engaging. I'm thinking someone young, like maybe, honestly, I wouldn't have a problem if there was a Melo Hayes or a Trick Williams. They did mention NXT people were going to be in the tournament as well. Maybe Trick Williams or an Oba Femi, whatever. Somebody younger, at least like, around the age of 40 or younger than that. It really should be someone below the age of 35 to 30. You know what I mean? Below that age or in that age range, realistically. But we'll see what happens. I hope it's Trick Williams or Carmelo Hayes, if I'm being honest. That's what I would want, but we don't know what's going to happen, man. Who knows? Who cares? At the end of the day, we're just going to have to sit back and watch the absolute garbage unfold. John Cena's retirement tour has been an absolute disaster. It's been awful. You can't blame The Rock. Yes, The Rock turned heel and didn't show up anymore. Triple H had 5 months left to book a heel Cena and gave us absolutely nothing. Nothing in 5 months. Wasted half a year of this dude's final run, and you're talking about The Rock. You get what I mean? We have to be realistic about it. This retirement run sucks, and that's it. Then in the main event, Jey Uso ended up losing to CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship, and the show went off the air. Nobody cares. Everyone knew Jey was probably not going to win this match. I low-key had a feeling that he could have won maybe because, maybe Triple H wanted to give Jey the belt back, but obviously they had to go with Punk. Punk's just a better wrestler and a better performer than Jey Uso, and, he didn't get a full reign after he beat Gunther at SummerSlam, so of course they had to do this. A couple things I will note about this main event. After CM Punk won, he's, down on his knees with his head in his hands, crying, you know what I'm saying? Bro, it's a B title. It's a B champ. Nobody cares if you won the world title. Stop. My goodness, man. Why is everyone crying after everything? We are in the worst era of professional wrestling ever, and you finally won a world title. Nobody cares. And then on top of that, this whole Jey being mini Roman storyline, having adversity with Roman and Jimmy because he wants to be world champion. He wants to do it on his own. Now he's back, jobbed out for the title. Now what's he going to do? What happens to the storyline with him and Jimmy and Roman? Now what? What, they're going to reunite and fight at War Games? Yeah! We totally didn't see that 2 times already, man. Goodness gracious, bro. I mean, we're done. But overall, this show was a complete and utter disaster. I don't know what else to say about it. I have nothing else to say. This was a disaster. I got my rage out. I got the rant out. And I honestly exposed this show for what it is, which was an absolute piece of garbage that had low effort nonsense written all over it. I'm giving this show a negative 10 out of 10. And thank you all for watching. Let me know what you thought about Saturday night's mid-event, garbage event, lame event in the comment section below. And as always, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a phenomenal day. Peace out and one love.